the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now
welcome back, guys. It is Monday morning, 8 o'clock, and I'm here to pick up a container, and the exit gate right there is still blocked off with a container, and then there's all these trucks parked outside the gate. So looks like these guys are running behind. I emailed the broker, let them know, said hey, on the paperwork it says that they're open at 7:30. Gates are still closed and there's a line of trucks waiting to get in. That way, if it takes more than 2 hours, I can get paid for sitting here. But you have to let them know when you get there to be able to get that. And then also over here, that's a semi-truck container and a lift being emptied right now. It's pretty interesting. Not really sure what they do over here. I think this used to be like some kind of paper mill. They still do something. I don't know what they do, but yeah. Anyways, just wanted to let you know how the beginning of this week is going. So far, to a slow start, but hopefully it gets better. All right, guys, it took a little bit longer than expected, but we got loaded. It is what looks like a brand new high cube container and a double door. So it's got a set of doors on the front and a set of doors on the back, and it does have forklift pockets, so I did push it a little bit closer because they could pick it up from there. Do make sure the doors are locked up, all the edge protectors are on nice and tight, and straps are nice and tight. The biggest thing was he loaded this up and none of these doors were locked. That was actually pretty difficult to get locked up with only that much room right there, but we did get it. Sent a picture of this to the customer that's picking this up because I have had issues with them loading the wrong stuff before for this client. So I sent him a pic, let him know what it was. He didn't say anything bad about it. He just asked you know, when I thought I'd be there, so I guess that's a A-okay. Emailed the broker, let them know that I'm loaded, and made contact for delivery. Did not go over the 2 hours, so no extra pay there, but that's just kind of the process. And it looked like the broker emailed me back. He said thank you, be safe. So I'm gonna hit the road. I'll let you know if anything else happens. Well, this morning I did my pre-trip and everything. I know I'm getting close to doing an oil change, or needing to do an oil change. So I checked my oil this morning and the oil was low. I had to top it off with a quart of oil, which, I mean, it's not a great thing, right? But anyways, I went to the Speedco at the Loves, because inside the Loves they would only sell me a quart, or a gallon, and I didn't need a gallon, I just needed a quart. They topped it off for free, didn't charge me anything, super nice. But as soon as we get into Montana, it's like $60 cheaper to do an oil change over there. So I'm only 300 miles away from my destination. Just gonna rock on over there, drop this off, get an oil change there, save some money. I'm also going to switch from my summer blend to my winter blend. So in the summer I run a full synthetic 540. In the winter, it's a synthetic blend. It's a 1540. I can't find a 1540 full synthetic. I'm sure it's out there, but at these places where they're changing the oil, they don't carry it. But anyways, let's get back on the road. Alright guys, well while I'm waiting for the customer to show up, started unstrapping this to get it unloaded, and I started thinking about something I'm currently going through. Last week I delivered a container and the broker's trying to reject my BOL, saying the shipper didn't sign the BOL. The shipper electronically signed it. They didn't physically. They typed in their business name in the signature line. That's what they do. And all they have to do is call them and be like, oh, this is how you do your paperwork? Yes. And it shouldn't even be a question. They all do the electronic signature, except for one container company that I know of. No one actually physically signs anything. But in the meantime, while they're trying to figure all that out, they have rejected my paperwork, my BOL. So, you know, that means my factoring company can't bill and process payments. So, you know, it's an issue. And then the broker that I'm using with that company for that load, the guy's on vacation, so he's not responding, so it's just really irritating. But while I was unstrapping this, made me remember why I videotape everything, because this is evidence. This is, you know, you could take this in the court of law. You know, you got container numbers, their yard. So what I was getting at is, at the end of the day, if this broker doesn't get their stuff together real quick, I'm gonna let them know I got everything in 4K. I got picking up in 4K. I got delivering in 4K. I have all the evidence, and so I'm hoping it's just maybe the broker that I work with is on vacation and he wasn't there to approve the BOL. But if worse comes to worse, I got video evidence, guys, and that's why I recommend you document everything. Oh, big old cat rolling into the KOA over there. Alright, I'm gonna put you away. Alright guys, gotta tell you, I dropped my trailer, go get an oil change. Here in Montana, everything is so much cheaper. $100 for an oil change here compared to $200 in Washington, Idaho, California. Crazy. Fuel filter, 20 bucks. I've paid anywhere from 60 to 100 bucks just for the fuel filter. So, hey, I'll spend my money here because I'm saving money. All right, before I forget, averaged about 7 miles per gallon, which you can expect for a high cube. 671 miles, it paid 1,700 bucks. It's $2.53. It's okay, but man, I've been running around town trying to find an air filter. No one has one in stock. It's not a big deal, it doesn't need to be replaced, but it is dirty, so yeah, I guess it does need to be replaced. But yeah, we did get that fuel filter. They didn't have it in stock. Got that changed for 50 bucks. I've had people really quoting me $200 to change my diesel fuel filter, which is the easiest one in the world to replace. So 50 bucks, hey, I could do it myself. I got all the tools with me to do it. But honestly, I'll pay 50 bucks. I'm not paying 200 though. But yeah, let's go get our trailer. Let's get hooked up, see what kind of loads are on the board. This customer offered me another job, but don't really want a deadhead all the way back home just to come back out here. So let's see what we could do. All right guys, I think it's time to give you a little update. Kind of bad news. So doing my pre-trip, looking for work and all that, and just wasn't really anything in the area coming out of Missoula. And so I decided I was gonna deadhead back home where I know for sure I can get some work. It's not the greatest plan, but you know, it's a plan. And when I was doing my pre-trip, I could see that one of the axles was leaking. Like like there was a constant drip from the axle seal. So because of that, you know, cleaned it up, because you don't want grease on your brakes, cause a fire and all that. But scheduled an appointment for tomorrow morning at my local repair place that I work with quite a bit, Dirk's, I believe. And we're gonna get that fixed, because last thing you need is to be going through a scale and them finding a leaking axle, and they can put you out of service. And now, instead of, you know, being in a shop paying $200 an hour repair costs in a shop, now you're paying roadside assistance, which is gonna be far more. So just gonna go ahead and get that handled. It's not a bad leak, like it's holding fluid, but it is leaking, so it's not the end of the world. But we are gonna go ahead and get that fixed up. And then we got another container going back to Great Falls, and this time we got more money for it, so it's a good thing. And it is still profitable, even deadheading. I did all the calculations. Now, it's not as profitable for my business, but it is profitable for me. Like, I'm getting paid, and so that's good. That's really important, you know, that I'm getting paid. But the business is taking a little bit of a hit because of all the deadhead, but the business is still making money, and that is the key. The business must always make money. Alright guys, so when I filled up and got gas, they had a water hose, so I used the water hose to kind of rinse down the axle and the hub where it's leaking. But we're about to go over a weigh station, so I wanted to show you. It's not good. You see, the other side's completely dry. All the other ones are completely dry, but this one's wet. You know, it's wet on the tire. It's dripping right here. So it's not dripping on the disc brakes, which is good. We don't want oil or grease on that, but thought I'd stop and make sure it looks presentable as it makes its voyage through the weigh station. You know, they got cameras and stuff, and yeah, we don't want any trouble. So hopefully this is good. I'm glad I sprayed it off, because it definitely helped. It was pretty nasty, but it's got a steady drip. It's not massive, but it's enough to cause concern. And like I said, I've already replaced this 6 months ago. When I did my annual, I found out it was leaking, because it's pretty normal to have to top them off, you know. They do get hot, and you know, it evaporates. I didn't know it was leaking like that. It was during the winter, so it's hard to tell when everything's wet. But when I called to make the appointment, they asked me if it's hot. So this one's not leaking. It's not warm at all. And this one, it is warmer. It is warmer. Probably 10 degrees or so. It is, I can notice it's warmer, but it's not like super hot, like hurt you or anywhere near like that. It's just a couple of degrees warmer. So, and it is cooler on this side than it is on the other side. So, maybe it's the bearing. I'm gonna call them up and let them know. Let's plan to replace the bearing, because last time we didn't replace anything, we just replaced the axle seal. But I looked on Google. Seems like one of the #1 causes is a bad bearing. And a bad bearing can get hot and I guess like melt or damage the seal. And also a bad bearing can like have a little bit of movement, and that little bit of movement can be rubbing against the axle seal and wear the seal out. So based on what I just felt as far as temperatures go, it was just slightly warmer. So that is the plan. If you guys have gone through this with their Dexter axles, these are 15K axles, but if you have any experience, any knowledge, let me know in the comments, because we're gonna try to shoot for a bearing and an axle seal, and hopefully that fixes it, because I'm kind of tired of it and it's not very comforting knowing that it's leaking. And when you get pulled into those bays and they're looking under your trailer and everything, there's no hiding it. So I want to keep my safety score. I want to be safe. I don't want any hazards. That's why I bought new equipment. So it seems like it's been a problem since I bought it. So it must be a manufacturer defect. Something's wrong, obviously. So we're gonna start with the cheapest thing, bearing. And I'm not replacing the axle. If the bearing doesn't work, then we'll look at the axle, but the axle is the most expensive part. We'll always start cheap. All right, well, back at home. This is the old air filter. Kind of nasty. New one. Do gotta say, I'm tall. Still need a little step stool to get up high enough to see where all the screws are. But otherwise, pretty simple. Do use a long shaft. Long shaft, big tip, Phillips to do it. All right, last is the cabin air filter. You just push in on each side of the glove box and it comes out, and the cabin air filter's up here. It's actually very easy. There's a clip or something. Yeah. That comes off. Filter's right there. Guess you just grab it and rip it out. Ugh. Not too dirty. Ooh. Okay, maybe this. I mean, it was white. Now it looks kind of grayish. Very fine dust on that, so let's get the new one in. Now this one looks kind of gray, but this one has the charcoal in it, so this one's actually better for allergies, and tells you which way to put it in, the way of the airflow. So should just slide right in like the old one. I'm gonna put this down and get it in there. Alright guys, as I said, it's the next day. We're here at Dirk's, and we're gonna get this trailer repaired. Hopefully only take an hour or two. Shouldn't take too long as they got everything they need. It's really a simple project, but yeah, this week's turned into maintenance week, but gotta do it. The only time this truck sounds like a diesel is when you're next to a wall, and then you can hear it. But otherwise, it's so quiet in here, you can't hear anything.